Today we're going to walk out of here happier than we came in. That's the goal for this class. When you come to my classes, I have a goal for you, whether it's relationships, whether it's vampires, for you to become in my class. Class is about basically raising your self-esteem and becoming the happiest people we can be in life. I want to first start with a few community service announcements, because I forget in these classes, I get so involved in the classes, I forget to announce certain things. So I have a WhatsApp group. If you want to get on it, just if you have a camera, you can get off anytime. I usually announce special events, special classes, or when I have books that are coming out. I think I don't post a lot, very rarely, but if you want to get on after class or now, you can use your phone for that. And today's book we're talking about is called Never Feeling Loved Again. It's available on Amazon. I have a few copies here. And then next week we're doing a class on emotional vampires. This book is available here also for purchase. And then next week's class also I'm actually calling it the 10 Commandments of Marriage. And what I'm going to do next week, because this is the parsha of Yisro, we do the 10 Commandments. I really should have done the class this week, but whatever, I made a mistake. What we're going to do is we're going to take the 10 Commandments and we're going to compare them to marriage. Because just like the 10 Commandments, you have, 2 tablets, 5 are from man to God, and the second 5 are man to man. Why didn't God just make 1 tablet? Why 2 tablets, right? Because if you had 1 tablet, you have an order, and they're both important. The first 3 of the second tablet are basically between actions. Do not kill, do not do adultery, do not steal. These are actionable items. And the 4th of the second tablets is do not bear false witness, which is a speech. So you have action and you have speech, and the last of the 10 Commandments is do not covet, which is thought. So it creates everything. And so in the 10 Commandments, I have found that I can talk about marriage in all the 10 Commandments. It's all based on sunscreen love. If you do not have a copy of this book, it is free. I have copies here. All I ask, and I have not been good about this, I need to really, I don't have it in yet, but I'm going to put in got one next week, a QR code to the reviews. So I've given out 2,000 books, and I have 15 reviews. So I'd like to have, it'd be great if you read the book and you happen to have it and read it and enjoy it or don't enjoy it. It doesn't matter. I still need reviews. It shows people reading the book. So if you've had the book, if you don't have it, it's free. It's here after class. Anything else? Jacob, anything else I can talk about?
Sure.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
You had posted to write a review.
Yes.
But I didn't know how.
I put a link after that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, you go to Amazon. I think you have to spend $50 a year on Amazon in order to leave a review.
What?
I could do that.
Yeah, most people, I assume, not everyone does, but I think you have to do that. I think that's the rules. I'm going to have, I just wasn't smart about it. I should put the links, the QR codes in here, but.
I don't see a link.
You don't see a link?
No, there's no link. Unless I don't know if you didn't put it or
I
maybe.
did. I posted it.
I saw this.
I posted it. I know I posted
don't
it.
see it.
Let's see. Everybody wash now.
Unless there's a secret group that I'm not a part of.
No.
Okay.
I don't see putting it on here.
I thought it's just if you purchase the product and it's a verified purchase.
There's verified purchase if you buy the book, which you're more than welcome to do, or if you don't verify, it doesn't say verified purchase, it just says review. It is not on here, and I will glean that or do after class today.
I'm glad I asked. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
But if you go to the book, if you type in Coach Ratner Sunscreen Love or Coach Ratner, and you go to the bottom, it says leave a review. I mean, it's not hard to find.
I didn't see that. Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah, it should be there on the very bottom. Okay, let's go, baby. Let's rock and roll. Let's get this done, baby. So the reason why I wrote the book on self-esteem and why I teach classes on it is because when you're teaching class about relationships and dating and marriage, and this is a big issue in the world today, I'm going to say it's probably more with young women than men, but it's an issue with everybody, that if you don't love yourself, you're going to have a hard time loving somebody else. And this is a common feeling in the world today. I don't love myself. If I find a guy, I'll be happy. And not only with this relationship, only will you still be unhappy, you're going to make him unhappy, and the relationship's going to fall apart. It doesn't mean it's going to fall apart. There are worse things in a relationship, like narcissism, or than low self-esteem. But it makes it really hard to have a passionate, loving relationship when you don't love yourself. Because how can you put an effort into somebody else when you don't love yourself? So in 2021, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, came out with a report, staggering, that 1 out of every 3 teenage girls had seriously considered attempting suicide. Think about that for a second. 1 out of 3 had seriously considered attempting suicide. And the rate for boys was half that, which means 1 out of 6. We live in one of the best times in the history of the world. We have access to food and medicine and shelter and information. We have everything at our fingertips. Our bubbies had to go to the creek to get water. Yet we live in a time with more therapists per capita, more people on antidepressants any time in the history of the world. What is going on? What does self-esteem mean? Let's first get into it. What does self-esteem mean? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm gonna wait for an answer. What does low self-esteem? What does self-esteem mean? Yes.
I guess like self-esteem is how you view yourself. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Wasn't a trick question. Very easy. You can speak up. Thank you so much. And so low self-esteem would mean that you don't feel good about yourself as a person. It means you don't feel good. And by the way, we all go through this in our life. I believe it starts, this is my opinion. I remember I grew up in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, and when I was little, in the wintertime it was cold. It's freezing now this year. Oh my gosh, it's so cold back home. I mean, look at the weather forecast every night, like below 9 degrees, 8 degrees. And I go to the bus stop in the morning, and when I was first, second, third grade, my mom would say to me, I wasn't married in first grade, that's weird. Anyway, my mom would say to me, put a warm hat on before you go to the bus stop, else you're gonna catch a cold. Okay, Mom, put a hat on, go to the bus stop. Somewhere around 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I can't pinpoint it, but you know what I'm talking about. What happens? What do I say to my mom?
you're like, no, I don't need it anymore.
Why?
Because you start to think you're independent.
Not just that, go ahead.
Hat hair?
Not hat hair, I don't know.
You think you know better.
No, Mom, I'm gonna look like go ahead.
You're insecure about people think.
I'm insecure about what people think about myself because I start to become aware of girls. You know, you start to get that age, you're like, ooh, girls, right? Huh?
Don't blame us.
No, I'm blaming you. No. It's ourselves, right? It's ourselves. Because the biggest prison you can put yourself in is worrying about what other people think of you. And it is a prison, and we put ourselves into it. And so what I want to do is turn my mess into my message. And this is what this class is about. And by the way, I don't believe it exists. This is my personal opinion. Low self-esteem doesn't exist. And you know how I have a clue from this? When I read the beginning of the Torah, and it starts off with, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light. The Torah says that there was darkness upon the surface of the deep, which means darkness existed before there was creation. I believe low self-esteem is just having a lack of light in your life. What's that opinion? Go ahead.
And what if you do have a lot of light in your life? Isn't it more like an internal perception of your reality?
It is an internal perception. It is, Jason, your own goggles of yourself, what you think about yourself.
Right.
No one else is viewing you that way.
You're saying like your glasses, like how you perceive the world should be with light.
With light and have light in your life, which means find a way, bring light into your life. Like we can black out the windows in this room, turn the lights off, it'll be completely dark in here. And when you light one little tiny birthday candle, what happens? The whole room lights up, right? And so if we bring light into our life, we'll be happier people. So this class is broken down to 3 different parts. The first thing we're going to do, I don't know if we're not going to do the whole thing, but we're going to break it down to starting off with symptoms of low self-esteem. These are things that we do in our life when we have low self-esteem. And I'm not looking at you or me. We all do these things. And some of us do more than others. It's just recognizing what they're coming from. And the second part of the class, which is actually very important, we're going to discuss ways in which you cause low self-esteem in other people. And the reason why this is so important, because once you become aware of your happiness, once you become aware of other people's happiness, you become more aware of your own happiness. Because when you start saying, you know what, if I say this, it might come across wrong, I shouldn't write that, and you become aware of other people's feelings, your own feelings become more in tune. And then lastly, we're going to go through different ways in order to connect, to cure your low self-esteem. There's 12 different ways, I'm not going to go through all of them. But again, I really believe that it doesn't exist. You know, it's interesting. The speed of light, anyone know the speed of light? Anyone? Bueller? No one gets this joke.
Ferris Bueller?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie.
Yeah. I'm aging myself, you know? It's actually pretty funny. Did you see the movie Ferris Bueller's Days Off? Ferris Bueller?
Many years ago.
Yeah. It's a pretty funny thing. Yeah. What's the speed of light? 186,000 miles per second. What's the speed of darkness?
Here's this.
You get my point? Darkness doesn't exist. It's just an absence of light. You get that, my point? So what we're going to bring light into your life. In the Torah, the right represents, and this is very important, that we're going to talk about the right hand represents spiritual and the left represents the physical. Jacob showed the significance of using his right hand and blessing by placing on the head of Ephraim, whose tribe was thereby destined to become greater, even though Manasseh was older. Right is synonymous with goodness and brightness, and left is awkwardness and clumsiness. And we're going to look at this word right here, and we're going to break it down a little bit. And this word is, how do you spell nega? It is with an ayin, right? Nun gimel ayin. This is the word nega. This is used in Parsha Tatzriah when the Jews start getting tsaros, right? Skin disease. It's used when you get it when you have lashon hara, right? When you're speaking evils, talking gossip with other people. This is the word nega. It's called an affliction. But what's interesting about this word? What's this last letter? Ayin. What does that mean? The word ayin is a letter. Also, is a word in Hebrew. It means eyes. The left side. We just talked about the left side being. But the left side representing the physical, and the right side the spiritual. And we take that eye and we make it from the left side, and we get rid of it, and we put it in front, and we put it on the right side. We have the word oneg, which is pleasure. So if you can change your vision of yourself, if you can change your goggle of yourself, you can change how you feel about yourself. Any questions? Okay. And we see that when it's so funny because we're reading about the Jews coming out of Egypt, and Yosef becomes the viceroy of Egypt. How did he become viceroy? How was it that he went from a lonely slave, right, to a viceroy?
His visions.
Huh?
His visions.
His visions. We don't talk about this a lot. We say, oh, he's viceroy. No, he was in jail, which, by the way, was a dungeon. I think they said it was a dungeon, a dark place. And he stopped and he recognized that the baker and the winemaker, the Pharaoh's, confidants, who are now in jail, in fact, the Torah says, there's not a medrash. He goes, you look aggrieved. How can I help you? You know what he did? He went out of his way in a dark place and brought light to somebody else. And what happened? 2 years later, he's out of jail, now viceroy of Egypt. Because he brought light to somebody else. I'm reading a lot. I'm reading this book called Letters to the Rebbe. And I read this last night. I wanted to bring this to you. That a lot of the letters he gets from people about going through struggles and having problems in life. And I'm going to read this to you. I thought it was interesting. This is from the Rebbe. He says, excuse me. Hold on a second. I'm going to have a little bit of tea. My throat's still not 100% yet. Yum. Did you eat yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Don't eat my fries. You can have a few. They have really good food at Aish. I got to tell you. Any of you guys at Aish? it's great. Lunch is awesome. Gosh, they have so many salads and chickens and it's unbelievable. When I got here 6 years ago, I was teaching, and the food was not very good. I used to go and get a salad at the French bakery here in town, in the old city. And then eventually these got better and better and better, and I love coming here. I should bring my family. We're going to dinner tonight. Where are we going? We're going to Aish. Isn't that for boys? That's okay. We can go sit in. To the rebellious young person, to the rebellious young adult, first charting their path in the world, he would explain that their youthful contrarian energy is a powerful once-in-a-lifetime force they can and must harness for the good. This is for someone who's young. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of gumption. You have a lot of energy, and you can use this for good. To the business person, he would explain how they can make their work meaningful by finding opportunities to provide spiritual and material help to their colleagues and giving charity from their earnings. And I went through this when I was not religious until my mid 40s. And so Baruch Hashem, thank God blessed me that I was able to do well financially in my business. I'm a rare coin dealer. And at first I'm like, okay, after a while, okay, I'm making money, it's great, whatever. And then once I started learning Torah, I'm like, you know what? God gave me a gift. I mean, he didn't give God wrote us a check at birth. He wrote you a check for $5,000 and wrote you one for $10,000, right? But you never go to a bank with a $5,000 check and just say, give me $4,000, keep the change. That's exactly what you're doing when you don't reach your potential in life. And I said to myself, God gave me a gift. He gave me a gift to see coins better than other people. He gave me a gift to work hard. He gave me a gift to negotiate. He gave me a gift to understand the business and the nuances of the business. I'm going to use that money for good. And that's when I started, becoming Baal Tzedakah. I remember I was not religious yet, and I got involved with Federation. You know Jewish Federation? Right? And I remember I was probably in my late 30s, early 40s. I had never given money away. And by the way, there's a reason why there's a Torah commandment to give 10% of your after-tax net income away. Do you know why there's a mitzvah for this? It's hard. It's difficult. It's not easy. There's no mitzvah for me eating French fries. Do you know why? Because I could I could eat all the French fries at Aish. I mean, you put them on, you just don't stop. It's like ridiculous. I mean, I turned into an animal. I can't control myself with French fries. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You have ice cream, pizza, the same thing, right? It's very difficult. So we're like addicted to it. And this is why I make a little bit of a packet like this, so I can't eat more than this, right? Don't eat them. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna get into some of these things. So I talked about how Joseph brought light into a dark place, and we need light. So we're gonna go through different symptoms of low self-esteem and how they affect you. Number one is called comparing yourself to others. And we do this all the time. We're never happy with our own accomplishments. One thing I say to my students, there's always going to be someone better than you. Always. It doesn't matter what you do in life. Someone better looking, someone stronger, someone skinnier, someone who's more... You're never going to be the best at everything. If you are, someone's going to become better eventually. Always strive to become a better person. I've learned something from my own life, that when I was in high school, I used to play a lot of piano. I started in elementary school, junior high school, and I played a lot, and I was very good. I wasn't great, but I was very, very good. Never said, oh, you're great, because in my social circle, between my shul, my high school, and my families and friends, I was an excellent piano. I just played Gershwin, Rachmaninoff, Billy Joel, Elton John, Barry Manilow, at the Copacabana. I used to love that song. At the Kotel Moravi, the hottest spot north of the Dead Sea. At the Kotel. Anyway, that's going to become a song someday. I got to finish it up. So I go to this. So I'm really good at piano. So I'm going to this all-county chorus event in Virginia. And here I'm thinking I'm really good on piano. And I walk into this room full of pianos. All the accompaniments are at. And I walk in there. And by the way, before this, I was going to apply to 2 schools for music. My goal in life at this point in time, I'm in 10th, 11th grade, was to play on Broadway. That was my goal. I want to write music, write musicals, and play on Broadway. And I was going to apply to Oberlin School of Music in Ohio and the Juilliard School of Music in New York, right? And back in the early 1980s, there was a TV show called Fame. Fame, I want to live forever. I want to learn how to fly high. It was a very famous song. And I was going to apply to the school. Not to be on the show, but to play there. I walk into this room full of pianos, and my heart sank because I thought I was really good. And next thing I know, I see these young women and men playing music that was out of control. They were playing music by ear. I could play, if you put sheet music in front of me, I can figure it out pretty quickly. I'm really good about that. Back then, not now. And they were playing by ear. Like any song you play, you sing, they could play it. They could switch keys on demand. I couldn't do that. I had to figure out each key. And most of these girls were like 13-year-old Korean girls, and they were amazing. And the idea of me going to Oberlin or Juilliard completely went out the window. Why? 2 reasons. And I learned 2 lessons from this. You should never listen to negative people. And the worst person you can listen to is yourself sometimes. I didn't have one in my life, you can still do it, coach. Like, I wasn't coach then, but there was no one in my life telling me this thing. I didn't have Aish Torah. I didn't have Rav Gov and Rabbi Dubov and Yom Tov Glazer and Dov Ber Cohen. I didn't have these people in my life. Like, I can't do it. And I never know what I can achieve. And by the way, another lesson you can learn in this is that you don't have to be the best at what you do to be successful. You just need to be good enough. It doesn't mean you should keep trying to become a better person, whatever skill you have in life. But I could have written music. I could have written on Broadway. Okay, I wasn't going to play for the National Symphony Orchestra. I wasn't that good. I wasn't that technical. But other skills that I had that maybe they didn't have. I didn't give myself a chance because there's two kinds of regret. There's regret where you tried something and failed. I never gave myself that chance. And this worst regret is never trying at all. So when you compare yourself to others, and when you think about the world today, we are comparing ourselves to all the time, and how we dress, and how we do our hair. We're comparing ourselves to others. I saw a meme one time of a model, and she was from a northern Scandinavian country, and she had hairy armpits. And all the comments below were, ooh, gross, I would never do that. Ooh, gross. Let me tell you something. Imagine MetLife Stadium, 5 nights in a row, Taylor Swift, sold out, 5 nights in a row. At the end of every concert, I love you, New York, with big hairy armpits. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be a social media storm for like 5 hours, and the next day, every teenager is going to stop shaving their armpits. And very soon, you'll go to Emmys and Grammys and see on Elle magazine and Cosmopolitan and all these different things, women with hairy armpits, and suddenly it will become sexy. We are affected by the world around us. Am I making sense? You know, it used to be at one time, like when you go to the checkout line at the grocery store, and you see the women's magazines, what is considered beautiful in the eyes of the magazine? Is it pale or tan? Tan. Do you know at one time, if you ever watched the movie Titanic, and you see the woman in the early 1900s, right? What are they wearing? They're dressed modestly, right? Their cleavage isn't showing. They're dressed modestly, and they have big brim hats, and they have an umbrella. Why? Because if you're white and pale, you're considered beautiful. If you're tan, you're considered white trash and had to work in the railroads or work in the fields. And if you're a pale white woman, you're considered beautiful. What happened? Why did our thing switch? Why does it switch now?
Because
Yeah.
ID changed the way that they
Marketing, Madison Avenue basically changed the way we view things. They control our lives. Do you know at one time pink was a color for boys and blue was for girls? In the 1940s. Huh?
I've been saying that.
Yeah, it was pink because pink was considered. There you go, baby. Pink was considered a stronger color. No, I'm being serious. And in the 1940s, department stores figured out if they used one color, some department stores said, you know what? And then Mamie Eisenhower, this is where it really switched. Huh?
What?
In European countries, or what?
Pink countries.
European.
Oh, European
Ma-
countries. Yeah.
Mamie Eisenhower in 1952. She was the first lady. President Eisenhower, inaugural ball. She comes to inaugural ball in 1952. She's wearing all pink with 2,000 rhinestones. And at that point in time, every department store started making pink a woman's color. So when you go and you get something for your baby, you have a baby girl, Mazel Tov, right? What color did you get? That wasn't decided by you. That was decided by somebody else. You have to think for yourself. That's just one. We have a lot more to go. Avoiding social interaction. And this is a very fine line. I want to tell you something. When I was in college, I used to go to keggers on Friday and Saturday nights all the time. Like, they did parties. And I'd go, and there was always a guy in my dorm who would sit at home and read. And I was like, hey, Mike, you going to come to the kegger? No, I'm going to sit home and read. I'm like, what a loser, right? Because that's my impression, because I'm a guy who wants to go out and have a good time. But maybe he was staying in because he was an introvert and had more pleasure than my wife. She's an introvert. She gets more pleasure from staying and reading a book than going out and doing something. She's an amazing, amazing teacher. My wife is sadistic. She could teach all these classes. Right? You know, my wife's unbelievable. But she doesn't have that drive. She has no. And I told her she come teach with me. I said, you come. She goes, no, I don't want to. If people want to learn with me, they have to come to my house. And she'll sit there with 15 girls, 20 guys, whatever, and teach whatever you want. She's unbelievable. Oh, you're gonna know Friday night, right?
Yeah.
So my wife's amazing, but she doesn't have that drive. She's an introvert. Now, there are people, and she has strong self-esteem. It's not because she's worried about, oh, no one's going to like me, they're going to think I'm fat. No, and that is called low self-esteem, when you are afraid to go out to social situations because you're terrified of what people are going to think of you. Again, it's a fine line. Self-destructive behaviors. This is another symptom of low self-esteem. Why do I put this in here? Because I had a cousin, I didn't know him, but he died in a car accident. And that the police report is a wreck, and the reality from my other relatives that he committed suicide. When you see guys drive, I'm saying guys, but girls too, I guess, driving at 2 a.m. drunk, 200 miles per hour on the highway, right? They're not, you can say they're doing it for a thrill, or you can say they maybe don't care if they're going to die. And there's a fine line between people who want to jump out of airplanes, do bungee jumping because of the thrill of being alive. Because what is a thrill? It's when you do something and any little mistake means you die. That's considered a thrill. We'll do one more of a symptom is poor relationships. Imagine I said I have a guy for you. By the way, he doesn't love himself. Do you want to go out with him? Not a chance in the world. Who wants to go out with someone who doesn't love himself? Okay. Now we're going to get into ways in which you contribute low self-esteem in other people. And this is, I think, a very important part of the class. I'm going to get right into it. Posting on social media. Now, I think one of the reasons, when social media first started, Facebook first started, it was an idea of, you can share your pictures. I remember when it first came out, when I used to travel, back before social media, I'd buy a camera, like for vacation. I'd buy a box camera, right? And then when I'm done back for the trip, I'd give it to Costco or CVS, and I'd have my pictures. And where would those pictures be? They'd be on my living room table or my dining room table. So if you came over to my house, you'd see the pictures. But they weren't sharing with anybody else. And Facebook started like, oh, you can share with all your friends, your 40 family friends. What happened now? How many friends do people have on Facebook?
Hundreds.
Thousands? I have 2,000. 2,000. What? No, I'm not that cool. Here's the
I don't need
thing.
to flex on that.
I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to brag. My point is, I don't know these people. I don't know most of the people. So here's the thing. When I have something happy happen in my life, I want to share with my friends and family. So what I did is I started a Ratner family WhatsApp group. Well, in that WhatsApp group are 20 of my friends and family. My sister's on it. My sister-in-law's on it. Like, these are people who I'm very close to. And when I'm at dinner, which might be tonight, whatever, and I'm out with my family, oh, we took a family picture, that's where I post it. I don't need to share it with my 2,000 friends who are not really friends. So when you see what I call, this is one of my worst pet peeves, gender reveals. What's a gender reveal?
Lower pink.
They wear pink, right? For a guy or a girl?
Not a baby.
Depends if you're in LA or not.
What's a gender reveal?
But
You say? Oh, you want like this?
it doesn't matter. They change it later on in life anyway.
I didn't mean to embarrass you. What'd you say?
They might change it later on in life nowadays anyway, so it's no point.
We're not going to get into that. Go ahead. You're my guy.
Yeah, it's just when two parents reveal the gender of the baby.
When two parents reveal the gender of a baby, and they do it on social media, and huh? What did someone say? Nothing.
In a what way?
Cringy.
Oh.
So they said, we're going to have a boy. Next thing you know, they have blue balloons, a blue cake, and there's jets flying overhead with blue smoke coming out. Mazel tov, you're going to have a boy. It's great. But how many of your friends can't get married and can't have children? And when I teach high school classes, it's not that often. When I teach high school classes, they're going to yell. They're not going to yell at me. They're going to argue with me. Why should I care what people feel like? If they don't want to be on social media, they shouldn't go on social media. You're right. You can post what you want. You can post your pictures of having a baby. You can post your pictures of getting into Harvard. It's great. Mazel tov. But once you start to think about other people, and the reason why I came up with this concept is because I have a friend in the coin business who's posting pictures with his family in Paris. He's got a bunch of girls, wife.
In the what business?
He's in my rare coin business. It's a buddy of mine. It's a friend of mine. And he's posting these pictures of him in Paris every night at a fancy, beautiful restaurant. And I'm like, not everyone can afford this. These restaurants are a fortune, like thousands of dollars a night. Like, not everyone can afford this. Maybe have some thought that maybe I'm making people feel bad. Again, you don't have to. You don't listen to me. Listen, when you have awareness of other people's happiness and feelings, you'll be more aware of your own. Or people do what I call the humble brag. Oh my gosh, I got stuck in Frankfurt Airport last night. Thank God there was a red carpet club. I could take a shower and have a hot meal. Right? Or some girl comes off a plane, like, oh my gosh, I haven't showered in 3 days, and guys are still hitting on me. Right? You're saying something in a way that's supposed to be humble, but ends up being bragging. Or my worst pet peeve, and I've never done this before, is that you don't know so-and-so. Oh, you don't know Rabbi Goldberg? Oh, everyone knows Rabbi Goldberg. You don't know Rabbi Goldberg? Oh, how do you not know Rabbi Goldberg? Like, what am I, an idiot? Right? Am I stupid? Don't make me feel bad. I don't know everyone in your social circle. I just don't. I don't do this. I've never done this. I've done the humble brag before, but I've never done this. You don't know so-and-so. It bothers me. Usually someone's famous, someone's in the, a famous person. Oh, I remember when the Maccabees were first big in the Jewish world, like 2012. I was like, oh, my brother's girlfriend's sister dated a Maccabee. Like we all have a connection because it makes us feel better. It makes us feel like we're higher in the eyes of somebody else, right? When we try to connect ourselves to someone famous. And I've done this myself also. I don't do it anymore because now I'm aware of it. Because I want to have internal happiness with a need for external validation. I don't need likes. I don't need shares. I just need a happy wife so I can have a happy life. And that comes from having positive self-esteem. Yeah, everything I do is for my marriage. I put my marriage on a pedestal and I do everything to protect it. We'll get into this next week. Strategies to cure low self-esteem. I can't see the clock in back. What time is it back there?
141.
Okay. These are different things that you can do to help cure low self-esteem. The first thing, and again, you have to put a fence around your happiness. Just like in Pirkei Avos, it says, put a fence around the Torah. Why do we put a fence around the Torah? Why do we not eat chicken cheesesteaks?
Strength.
It's parv.
Chicken is parv.
Chicken technically, well,
Ignore it.
yeah. Go ahead.
It's so you don't end up getting tempted into eating meat and dairy.
So you don't get tempted. There's such a restriction on milk and meat. In fact, out of all I teach my students who are starting to keep kosher, what's the worst thing to eat? What do you think is the worst thing to eat if you go to a treat restaurant? Huh?
Bacon.
Not a bug. What'd you say? Cheeseburger. It's not a bug.
That's in the Torah. It says it 7 times. The amount of times that says in the Torah.
Bugs are worse than it's like 5 or 6.
Are bugs worse than cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a machloket, even if it's like non-kosher
What's up
beef
with
with the dairy, then that's not even like chalav basar.
Oh, it's not?
With kosher, it might just only be with kosher beef and kosher cheese together, then it's an issue. So, yeah.
Well, generally people
Tell
don't.
people that.
Generally, people don't have to worry about bugs most of the time in a restaurant, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we
I remember when I first started keeping kosher, I go to a restaurant, I order a salad, like a non-kosher restaurant, I order a salad, I would look at the lettuce and the light, like, is there bugs? That's what I was doing, because I was trying to keep, I was like, but when I journey, keeping kosher, you know? But I think meat and milk is the prohibition. There are 3 prohibitions. You can't cook with it, you can't eat with it, and you can't benefit from it. Which means you can't own a restaurant that serves milk and meat and profit from it. You can't even benefit from it. It's a bigger restriction. So we protect, the reason why we eat chicken and cheese, because when you put chicken on the grill, like chicken thighs on the grill, it looks like meat. And so we protect ourselves. That is not derisive, it's not from the Torah, it's rabbinic. It's rabbinic law. If you don't know the difference between rabbinic and Torah laws, it can be a problem in life. And we see this in the first chapters of the Torah. When Adam tells Eve, God tells Adam, do not eat from this tree. What does Adam tell Eve?
I was told not to.
Don't touch
Don't eat from the tree and don't touch it. But he didn't tell Eve that was a rabbinic law. He did not tell Eve that was a fence to protect her. So the snake says to her, I think she says to the snake, my husband says I can't eat the tree nor can I touch the tree. The snake, being smart, knows that that's not true. Hold on a second. And the snake pushes Eve into the tree, says, look, you touch the tree, nothing happens, therefore you can eat from the tree. Yes?
You said it was a rabbinic law, but there was no rabbis. At that point, it was only Adam and Eve.
He was a rabbi. I'm just kidding. I don't know. No, the rabbinic law came later.
Okay.
Okay.
But also the thing about the trait, like you can't cook the meat in his mother's milk.
Right, chickens don't have nipples. You don't see chickens like breastfeeding. That's my point.
No, I know, but then I was speaking with another rabbi and he was basically saying there's not really a reason why you couldn't have a cold burger with a cold bit of cheese. Because you're not actually cooking anything.
I mean, I guess if we get technical, maybe you're right. I guess, I don't know. I'm not going to quote on that one. I don't want to get in trouble. The rabbi said at Aish that I could have a cheeseburger. I'm like, you're fired. Oh, they can't fire me. I don't work here. My point is, like, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get into that, right? Don't eat a cheeseburger.
I'm finished with cheeseburgers.
So here's a strategy to cure low self-esteem. Ready? Let's get into this. Strategies to cure low self-esteem. Number 1, understand and forgive the source. Because if you can't not forgive the source of wherever your self-esteem is coming from, you're going to have a hard time moving on in life. It's a fact of life. Because holding on to grudges, holding pain, it just becomes more painful in life. For example, I hold this cup of tea up. How much does this weigh? How much does it weigh?
Depends for how long you hold it.
Yeah.
Depends how long I hold it. It's probably 6 ounces, right? If I hold it for an hour, it starts to get a little painful. Hold it for a day, I'm in severe pain. The longer you hold grudges in, you're never going to move forward in life. And I see this all the time. I hate to say it, but I help people out in life. And occasionally I have someone in my life who's 42 years old and they were born into a family with dysfunction. And they can't move forward, they can't get married, they cannot move on. This is going to be a challenge for them until they forgive their parents. And by the way, your parents did the best with the tools they had, which might not have been very much. And this is why I give a class. They give it this week? Yeah, Sunday I gave it called Raising Superstars. Were you there? No. Because you have to know what you're doing. You go to a hospital and you give a baby, if you go to a hospital, my wife did it at home, but you go to a hospital and they hand you a baby. They ask you one question. Do you have a car seat? Like, where's the instruction manual? How are you supposed to raise children? No one's telling you this. And this is what I do. I teach you how to raise children. Emotionally healthy, independent children. And I have no idea. I don't know. People say, how do you become coach? I just teach stuff that I learned in my own life. You have to, Joseph, right? Becomes viceroy of Egypt. His brothers come down for the second time to Egypt, and he can't hold it any longer because they don't recognize him. And he says to them, I am Joseph, if my father's still alive. And what's the next line he says to them? It's not your fault. We're not going to get deep into this, but he didn't really give them a healing. He didn't really forgive them. But he said, it's not your fault. This is all planned by Hashem. Everything was in God's plan. And this is why we're going to get into this in a few minutes, one of the last strategy to cure low self-esteem is to understand how to pray. We'll get to it in a minute. Control your exposure. If it makes you feel bad, don't do it. Remove social media if you have to. You have to be the gatekeeper to your brain. No one else can protect you. No offense. Imagine you have a flower garden and the flowers are dying. Are you going to call the seed company? Right? Hey, seed company, your flowers stink. They're dying on me. No, what you're going to do is you're going to check the water, you're going to check the sunlight, the nutrients. You have to check the environment that you're in. And the problem we have sometimes in life is that we're in an environment where we feel comfortable and familiar, and we think it's good for us because it's familiar and comfortable. But it's not good for us. This is why a lot of students who come from overseas come here, and they're out of their environment, which they thought was healthy, and they very quickly figure out it wasn't healthy, and they stay here, and they learn. This is where heaven and earth meet. And this is why people come here and say, I feel more spiritual. I feel something. I feel a presence of Hashem here. And the reason why, my mom used to have in her windowsill, she had a cactus plant, right, for many years. I don't know if they died. I don't know what happened to them. They grow like this, a little cactus plant. You take that same cactus plant and you put it in Arizona, in the desert where it belongs, it grows to 10 feet tall. It's the same thing with the Jewish soul. When you take that soul and you take it from Milwaukee, from Chicago, from Miami, from New York, from DC, from LA, from Brooklyn, from Lakewood, from Muncie, from 5 towns, you take it and you bring it here, it's a game changer. Your soul flourishes. And this is why our environment is very important. Rejection therapy, and this is such a very important thing, that sometimes when you do things that maybe you might think are embarrassing or might get rejected, this is how you raise your self-esteem. I tell my students sometimes, I think some are in here obviously, maybe, go to Jaffa Street and start saying hi to everybody. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? Hey, I like your shoes. Shalom, manishma. Hey, how you doing? It raises your confidence and your self-esteem. And people are looking at you funny. I don't care. It's not about them. It's about you. It's about raising your confidence in life. I remember when I was at Starbucks one time, a guy in front of me ordered a coffee, and I was feeling bad about myself for some reason. This is back in Maryland, America. And I said, let me buy your coffee. $2. This was back when it was $2. I changed this guy's day. I changed my day for $2. I one time went through the toll booth at the Delaware Memorial Bridge, back before we had fast toll. And it was like $3.75. And I go to the toll booth collector, paid for the guy behind me also, gave him a 10. I changed his day. I changed my day for $3.75. You know how much a therapist costs?
A lot.
$375.
$375 for an hour. Maybe not anymore, maybe more now, right? Maybe here in Israel it's that. Rejection therapy. We're not going to get into the next one because it's a whole class in itself. It's called Defining Your Core Values. What time is it? I don't think I watched the clock, right?
150.
It's called Defining Your Core Values. What do you stand for in life? What are your goals? Like what do you stand for? What do you consider when you see a situation that makes you sick? Do you understand it as something that you don't hold by? Or is it something that's good and positive? Like, this is what I want to hold by in life. You have to have your core values. Mine are easy. I used to use the word great. Who doesn't want to be great in life? And it's an acronym. It stands for gratitude. Be real with who you're thanking. You're not thanking wood. You're not thanking Mother Nature. You're thanking the creator of the universe. Now, of course, there's times in life, you come to my house Friday night, thank you, Coach, for dinner, right? I'm making killer matzo ball soup Friday night. I'm actually going to roast the chicken first. That's how I used to do it. I just forgot about this. My friend reminded me. I roast the chicken first with spices and wine, and I take that roasted chicken and I stick it in the soup and cook the soup for 4 hours. Just killer. You're going to love it Friday night. What am I talking about my soup for? Oh, gratitude. You're going to thank me for the soup, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
You're going to have to drop the recipe.
Yeah, I will. Thanks, Coach, for soup, right? It's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be the chicken or the guy who does something with the chicken?
Do a what?
Are you going to be the chicken or the guy who does something with the chicken?
I want to be the
Guy
guy.
who does something with the chicken, right? I talk about my class called From Swipe Right to Wedding Night, how to make yourself irresistibly marriageable. That when you're at a dinner table with mixtures of guys and girls, right? Singles, whatever. It happens a lot, right? And some guy stands up after the soup was served. Everyone's finished their soup. The hosts are talking to guests, whatever. Without being asked, goes around the table, picks up the bowls of soup, and brings them to the kitchen sink. What do you think of that guy if you're a girl? 20% hotter off the bat, right? You know what I'm talking about? Because he took responsibility. And this is one of the keys in that class, is when men take responsibility for things not being asked to do, it makes them look so much better in the eyes of girls. Even if you're 5'6", 20 pounds overweight. Define your, so I'm talking about great. Gratitude, being real who you're thanking. Take responsibility for the world. Live with your end game in mind, which what do I want people to say at my funeral? Oh, that guy, he watched every NFL game there was. Oh, he had all the best cars. No! You have two things you leave on this earth, and that's your mitzvahs and your children. And they're both a reflection on you. That's called living with your end game in mind. And the A stands for awesome. Know that God created you to be awesome. He could have taken any nation out of Egypt. He chose us for one reason, because he saw greatness inside of us. And the greatest transformation you're going to make in your life is when you believe in yourself as much as God believes in you. He sure as hell does believe in you. Just start believing in yourself. And the last is T, it's transformation, or Torah. Torah is not a book about guys walking through sand dunes wearing togas. It's an instruction manual for life. And this is how we do to guide our life. And it helps us to become great. And that is defining your core values. You don't need my core values. You need to have your own core values. Make a list of your attributes. Think about all the things you have in your life you can't pay for. Think about that. What do you have in your life you cannot pay any amount of money for? Your parents, your eyes, your families, the ability to walk in the morning, the ability to think. We all take these things for granted. But I'm telling you something, I've gone through some health issues recently. When you're not in pain, there is nothing that you care about in the world. When you have, I'm not going to get into it, but you have pain somewhere and it's like you can't function. It's hard to do anything. So all you care about when you're happy and great shape, you want to help people, you want to make them soup, you want to teach them classes, you want to spread positivity throughout the world, or you want to learn Torah. But when you're in pain, all you care about is getting rid of pain. That's it. You're focused on one thing. So make a list of your attributes. Exercise is so important in life. Again, we talked about this yesterday. I think. I'm not going to get into it. But exercise is so important. Because God gave us free drugs. They're called serotonin, melatonin, dopamine, a whole bunch of other things. I don't know them all. I'm not a doctor. But in order to access them, you have to get off your tush. See your tush all day, guess what? It's great. You maybe like it. You order dinner, 100 DoorDash, get a hamburger, come right to you. In the olden days, we had to go to our buddies had to go to the water, to the river to get water. We had to chop down trees, go kill an animal. We had to go plant gardens. Guess what? We're not doing anything anymore, and therefore, we're not producing the drugs that God gave us that make us happy. Because they're natural drugs that we all have. I know for a fact this is true. In my late 20s, I went through a short period of having some depression. It was really from really partying too much. I was doing too many partying, going to the beach too much. And I saw a doctor about it. He put me on these antidepressants for like 3 or 4 months, very light dose. And I was like, I don't want to be on drugs in my life. And I started exercising. I started running 6 miles a day. Almost every day. Running. I lived in Russia, I was running every day. Quickly, man, I'm like, wow, this is a game changer in life. Exercise is a game changer. And I never saw those drugs again in the rest of my life. The last thing about curing low self-esteem is really, we talk about prayer, but we have to have clarity on how to pray. The Torah gives us a clue. And I'm going to give you my acronym. This is how you can never forget how to pray. Because it really, when you put this in a certain order, you'll have a lot more clarity. I got to close this for a second, a little loud. Beep, 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 beep. Too much beeping going on. The word is repeat. Because if you think about any mitzvah, this is the one mitzvah you can do anytime, anywhere, as many times as you want. It's not one for Ashkenazi, it's not one for Sephardi, it's not one for Levium or Kohanim, it's not one for a man, not for a woman, not one based on time. You can do it anywhere, anytime, any day of the week, as many times as you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn the 4 steps to prayer. We're going to end on this note. And I'm telling you, when you have a greater connection to Hashem, when you have a greater connection to the creator of the universe. In fact, a lot of depression really comes from lack of that spiritual awakening that we need to have. And when you have that spiritual awakening in your soul, you'll go through you won't have these issues with low self-esteem because you'll realize God did not put you here to feel bad about yourself. Why would he do that? He gives us everything. He doesn't want us to feel bad. He gave us everything. He gave us life. He gave us earth. He gave us sun, moon, stars. He gave us little puppies and pizza with pepperoni, not pizza with black olives and mushrooms. I call myself. And you first have to get rid of 2 E's. Well, we used to, at Whole Foods in Maryland, they sell the fake pepperonis.
Oh yeah.
It's made with and it's really, my kids love it. I love it too. It's kosher. It was Star K. I want to get it. So that's what I mean by pepperonis, those little pepperonis. They're really good. It's just full of salt. All this is sodium. It's delicious. Huh? You get rid of 2 E's. The first E you want to get rid of is your ego. Because in a relationship, not just with your spouse and not just with yourself and not just with Hashem, your ego is not your amigo. It'll crush you in relationships. So you get rid of that. And then you get rid of envy. Because you don't want someone in your life that has envy. Because you cannot pray to the creator of the universe when you have envy. Because you're saying, I am not happy with that car, that house, that wife, that job, that body, that whatever it is. When you're not happy with something, you're saying, God, you made a mistake. And how can you pray to the creator of the world when you're saying he's making a mistake? Those 2 things contradict, right? So you get rid of envy and ego, and you're left with 4 letters. And this is the final cure for low self-esteem. And it's all on my book, Never Feel Unloved Again. It's available on Amazon. I gave away about 995 copies. I have 5 left. So you have to get them on Amazon. Recognize who you're praying to. I know this sounds maybe a little simple, but we pick up an art scroll, we're standing in front of the room, we're reading the art. We're not praying the art scroll. We're not praying to the stones on that wall, right? We're not praying to the guy on the stage with a big hat and a big tallis. We're praying to the creator of the universe. Not praying to our bosses, not praying to our bodies, we're not praying to Gold's Gym, we're not praying to the money or the NFL. Praying to God. Recognize who you're praying to. Then you have to praise him. Praising him means that he can do anything. He can create the Milky Way, he can lay black holes, and he can create the quarter in your pocket. God can do anything. There's nothing too small or too big that he can do. And once you start to recognize it, you'll have a much better time asking to do this next one. And this is called ask. When we pray 6 days a week, pepperoni. We pray 6 days a week, right? We are asking for something. We're health, we're parnasa, right? Shidduch, we're children, family, returning to Jerusalem, whatever it is going to be. We're praying for something. And if you don't ask, when you're praying, when I go to Daven Mincha and I don't ask for something, I am not being real. And if I don't expect God to give it to me, then I am also not being real. If you're praying for a Ferrari and you really think he's going to give it to you, if you don't think he's going to give it to you, you're not being real. Can we pray for things we expect to get them? If you don't expect it, again, that's your contradiction. Why are you praying for me? Don't pray. God can give you anything. And if you don't get what you want, you should be ticked off. And you have to go back and look, maybe my motivation wasn't pure. Maybe I didn't make enough of effort. You expect God to say yes. And lastly, whatever he gives you and doesn't give you, you thank him. Because he doesn't give it to you, there's a reason why. Maybe it's not good for you. Maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe you haven't done the effort. Maybe your motivation isn't pure. And when you understand these 4 steps, recognize, praise, ask, and thanks, you'll have a better connection to the creator of the universe. Knowing Hashem, not as faith, but as fact. He's with you. He now put us here to love. He put us here to love ourselves. He believes in us and wants us to be great. May my blessing to you, may you be blessed with an abundant amount of positive self-esteem and spread your radiant light back into the world. Because the greatest transformation you're going to make in your life is when you believe in yourself as much as God believes in you. Thank you very much.